Personally, I have become an avid fan and supporter of one Jon Favreau. I really like the man. He seems personable, cracking jokes while crouched over a cutting board, chopping the hell out of some onions or something on his Netflix series The Chef Show. And who doesn't love any scene from any Marvel movie where Happy Hogan, Favreau's MCU character also seen in Spider-Man No Way Home, makes an appearance.
Remember we went to Germany? You pay-per-viewed a video in your room? They didn't list the titles, but I could tell by the price it was an adult film at the front desk, and you didn't know how I knew?
I'm not sure he's playing a part so much as just being his affable self, and yet we know he can act, as he has also expertly played the role of a complicated, temperamental, easily dislikable chef in the acclaimed 2014 Chef. However, my appreciation for Mr. Favreau is also one of professional admiration. As a film school scholar and screenwriter hopeful, Favreau's career in cinema and television is truly impressive. Arguably, he is already one of the most influential and masterful filmmakers of all time, and I believe should even be held with the same reverence, regard, and respect as other traditionally accepted father figures of cinema, such as Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, and even Hitchcock, all controversies aside. Jon Favreau's first named role was in the 1993 sports drama Rudy, alongside Sean Astin.
Who's the wild man now?
Here, he also met and formed a tight bond with Vince Vaughn, and the two have gone on to work together since, but more on that later. From there, the actor, writer, producer, director who had tried to garner a career as a comedian in Chicago during the late 80s, landed a role in a comedy film titled PCU, short for Port Chester University. Fans of the cult classic, critically acclaimed sitcom Seinfeld may also recognize Favreau from a 1994 episode titled The Fire, though he was dressed as a clown.
I don't know who Bozo is. What, is he a clown?
What, is he a clown? What, are you kidding me?
Well, what is he?
Yes, he's a clown!
He was also eventually on 2 episodes of the medical drama Chicago Hope, and though most people associate the Iron Man director-actor with Marvel Studios, he actually first held a very small role with DC Comics in 1995's Batman Forever, which saw Val Kilmer don the cowl of the Caped Crusader. Then, Favreau made the transition into writing, and with buddy Vince Vaughn attached, Swingers became Favreau's big break.
Just don't think she liked me in that way.
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
The two actually starred together in the movie, establishing Favreau early on as a sort of Renaissance man, capable of both delivering in front of the camera and in the pages of a screenplay, as the film was a box office success. He was then subsequently on 2 episodes of the Tracy Takes On TV series, starring Tracy Ullman from 1996 to 1997, though the show ran until 1999. Then, Favreau again landed a part on what many consider to be comedy scripture, with a recurring role on the 90s classic Friends. Then, in 1998, came Favreau's directorial debut with the TV film Bad Cop, Bad Cop, starring John C. McGinley from Scrubs. He later returned to the director's chair as well as the screenwriters and producers for the 1999 TV movie Smog. Following that in 2001, and again teamed up with partner Vince Vaughn, Favreau made his major motion picture directorial debut with Made. He again starred alongside Vaughn, and in 2003 starred in yet another comic book film, which also marked his first time working with Marvel Comics property, though at the time through 20th Century Fox. And while this film was not met with much success, in just 2 years, Favreau's career would change course with 2003's Christmas comedy Elf. Everyone has their favorite Christmas movie, unless your name is Ebenezer or you're covered head to toe in green fur with a heart 3 sizes too small. Christmas and the holidays are an incredibly festive time, full of tradition and close to everyone's hearts. And so, when a movie perfectly captures that essence and that spirit, we want to incorporate it into our traditions and appreciate it during its time, to get us into the cheer of the season. Most every family has the holiday practice of getting together and selecting that one movie, year after year, and 2003's Elf has only aged like a fine wine over time. Now, almost 19 years later, Elf has become a Christmas staple among my generation. Everyone finds Will Ferrell hysterical, dressed in his awkward North Pole garb, shoving chocolate-covered pasta into his mouth. However, the film also had some very interesting things going on from a technical filmmaking aspect that still stand the test of time. As mentioned in my other article, Favreau, the director of this film, utilized a technique known as forced perspective, which is all about using physical placement of vantage points to create the illusion of the manipulation of size. This is how Will Ferrell looked so convincingly larger than his elf compatriots during the North Pole scenes of the film. Not only is the film a holiday classic that has stood the test of time and entered into a sacred sector of pop culture, it is a masterclass in technical, practical filmmaking. Elf is a part of American culture associated with the biggest holiday of the entire year, and it was gifted to us by one Mr. Jon Favreau. Can you talk about Jon Favreau and not talk about Iron Man? Short answer, no. The 2008 film, starring and directed by Favreau, took an otherwise obscure Marvel Comics character and elevated him to one of the largest generators of income on the market. Iron Man has become iconic, and that is not just because of Robert Downey Jr., but also the expert filmmaker behind the camera. The movie had such a vibe and an attitude that is, unfortunately, otherwise lost from the MCU. It had true style. The effects of the movie were also incredible, with numerous Iron Man armor replicas produced and lining the sets, as well as actual armor pieces attached to Robert Downey Jr. during filming. Now, spoiler alert, well, prior to his death, Iron Man is just another head-to-toe CGI creation with simulated movement and light. But the foundation was laid by Favreau. The film and the sequels that followed, one of which was also directed by Favreau, received so much success that they gave birth to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the MCU, no matter your thoughts on it, Mr. Scorsese, has changed cinema forever. It is a multi-billion-dollar franchise spanning over 27 films and is responsible for some of the biggest box office successes ever. And the foundation for that success and that potential was laid and accessed by one Jon Favreau. The man and his career, which at the time was just 16 years long, had already altered the course of cinema for generations and decades to come. Favreau successfully completed his circuit participating in every prized aspect of nerd culture with his involvement in the Star Wars property. Yet another tenet of film culture and pop culture in general responsible for generating ungodly amounts of revenue. At first, he was in a starring capacity, lending his voice talents to the animated Star Wars The Clone Wars over several episodes.
Lightsaber was stolen from your Jedi temple
by my ancestors during the fall of the Old Republic.
However, he eventually would return to directing, producing, and writing in the realm of television entertainment, albeit in the form of streaming service Disney+. Favreau is one of the leading creators behind the acclaimed program The Mandalorian, as well as the recently released The Book of Boba Fett. Once again, it also seems Favreau is poised to launch a multifaceted franchise spread across numerous properties, as he is also attached to the Star Wars shows The Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka. And once again, he is shaping the very craft of filmmaking, employing cutting-edge technical practices which are now being adopted by other productions due to their efficacy. The practice in question is the use of massive LED screens to display the otherworldly backgrounds, scenes, and settings of the Star Wars universe. These backgrounds are proving much more effective than traditional green screen methods, and again put Favreau at the forefront of the industry and cinema as a whole.
I like when visual effects fool you in a way that you don't even know you were fooled.
Jon Favreau is certainly already one of the most successful and accomplished directors of our time, and I for one am sure he will continue to be both in the film and television industries. He is a true Renaissance man of film, capable of executing every element of the field with expert skill. from acting to producing to directing to writing. Favreau's next project is expected to be The Mandalorian Season 3 sometime in 2022, though he is also working on the upcoming Jungle Book sequel, Jungle Book 2.